on this rainy and stormy night across central Indiana. Want to give you a look outside right now. Our tower cam pointed at the sky right now. We've been hearing here in the downtown area a little bit of rumble of thunder and some lightning flashes out. We want to make sure that you are kept weather aware tonight as you are at home, safe and warm, but you're probably hearing the rain and storms where you are. Let us know where you're watching this Facebook Live. There you've got some lightning there as we continue to monitor things here in Marion County. But let us know where you're watching Facebook Live. Let's bring in Angela right away to find out where these storms are right now. Do we have any warnings at this point?
Scott, we do have one severe thunderstorm warning, and we still have a couple of counties under the tornado watch until midnight. So let's get straight to live Doppler 13 radar. I'm going to highlight the area that is under the warning. This is going to include those of you in Lawrence and Jackson counties. This will go until 10:30. So Bedford, north to about Nashville, so including southern half of Brown County, and then east to about Brownstown for the potential for some damaging winds and some hail. We've had several reports of hail with these thunderstorms already. Inch hail reported in Owen County. Did get reports of about nickel-size hail coming out of Cicero, and got a couple of reports of some hail out of Avon. So that kind of covers the severe thunderstorm warning, and again, it goes until 10:30 this evening from Bedford to Brownstown to Nashville. We're going to come back out to a larger view to kind of get you caught up on where we have additional storms. And obviously Scott showed us the camera over downtown Indianapolis where we have storms. There's the warning again. Let's move north of the warning. There's the cell that we're tracking just near downtown and on the south side. Extends back west through Plainfield, and the leading edge is about to Lawrence now. We come north and we've got another strong storm north of Elwood right now. That one we tracked all the way from Evansville, and it has made its way all the way to Elwood, and this one does have a history of hail. So keep that in mind. Northeast Tipton County, northwestern sections of Madison County, and then as it moves up into Grant County and Marion. As we move west, nothing severe here. We do have some steady rain Lebanon to Crawfordsville, and expanding the view, you can see the large storm system that we continue to deal with. And there are a couple of tornado warnings, especially across parts of Kentucky and Tennessee. That's where we have better dynamics in the atmosphere for tornadic development. Still can't completely rule out an isolated tornado, but our threat is beginning to diminish. Unfortunately, the tornadoes today were deadly across the southern part of the country, specifically Alabama. Early reports of 5 people dead due to violent tornadoes that moved across that state. And this large storm system continues to develop, continues to wind up, and continues to strengthen. And we're not completely done with the severe threat. Even once we get rid of the storm development the next couple of hours, which we do think that will happen by about midnight, we're then going to turn our attention, especially on the backside of this storm, for some gusty winds that still may gust in excess of 50, 60 miles per hour. And for that reason, the National Weather Service continues the high wind warning from 11 o'clock tonight through 9 a.m. tomorrow, Scott. And if you think about it, winds 58 miles per hour or higher are considered severe. So if we had a thunderstorm, the National Weather Service would issue a severe thunderstorm warning based on the development of those winds. They're not going to issue any additional warnings. It will just be the high wind warning that carries us through the early part of tomorrow. But I charged my cell phone, told Grace to charge her cell phone, just in case if this does materialize and pan out and we get several hours of these strong winds, we may see some trees and power lines come down.
We're going to be monitoring that over the next several hours. Facebook friends checking in tonight. Deb says, thank you, Angela, from Alexandria. Robert says, surprised I haven't lost satellite TV yet.
That's a good thing.
Jamie says, definitely had some hail in Elwood. Debbie checking in from Lawrence, where she says it's raining tonight. And Dean and Chalet say they are watching in Beech Grove. They've got some lightning to the north. Jermont wants to know, how long is this storm going to last?
I would say the threat for severe weather, we're at 10 o'clock now. We have another hour or two, and I'm going to go mainly, let me put the radar back up. I'm going to go mainly the eastern and southeastern part of the state. It's going to be that line that's east of Bloomington and the area that has not had storms yet, and that's going to include the southeastern part of the state. And I think that only lasts another hour or two. So in terms of severe storm threat, an hour or two. The rain will continue off and on through probably 3 or 4 in the morning, and then we again turn our attention to the potential for those winds that may gust 50 to 60 miles per hour, which are severe storm strength. And that's when we could see a greater chance of trees and power lines coming down.
And Betty mentioned that she's watching in Columbus, saying that she's getting a thunderstorm right now, and we can sort of see there on Live Doppler 13 what Betty is probably experiencing down there in Bartholomew County. And again, other folks checking in tonight. Denise from Springville says it's just pouring rain. Lori saying they had some hail in Carmel, raining in Fillmore, says James, and raining and thundering in Marion, Indiana, according to Amy. So we want to thank all of our Facebook friends who are joining us tonight. Angela's going to be giving us another update. So in case you've just joined us, we'll talk about a couple of other stories with Angela, and then we'll get back to the weather coverage and, of course, have the 7-day forecast and have more of that breaking news with the weather coming up tonight on 13 News at 11. One of the big stories that we're covering today in terms of the COVID restrictions across Marion County is the Indianapolis mayor decided today that despite what the state of Indiana is going to do in terms of making that mask mandate into a mask advisory and allowing local officials to make those decisions, Marion County has decided that they're going to go ahead and stick with the mask mandate right now and the capacity restrictions, and our Mary Mills has that story.
The mayor and Dr. Kane say while we're starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel, they're in no hurry to ease restrictions. They want to play it safe.
So even though the governor is lifting statewide restrictions as of April 6th, the mask mandate and capacity limits in Marion County bars, restaurants, and other businesses will remain in place.
While our numbers are improved from what we saw last summer, we cannot be lulled into a false sense of security.
She and the mayor say the challenges here are different. Marion County's population equals the state's 45 least populous counties combined. That means more density and, right now, more visitors with March Madness. Yeah! They say in order to relax restrictions, 3 things must happen. The average positivity rate must stay below 5% for at least 2 weeks, with fewer than 35 new cases per day, and achieving herd immunity, which means 70 to 80% of residents 16 and older vaccinated.
More shots in more arms will be the primary factor.
We're hoping that we're going to reach herd immunity this summer, okay? It's going to also be based on the vaccine availability,
which is getting better every day, especially with the Indianapolis Motor Speedway announcing 16 more days of mass vaccinations.
And again, those mass vaccinations will be the one-shot Johnson & Johnson vaccine, and you can go on ourshot.in.gov to get registered for your vaccination. Again, Indiana moving forward with all Hoosiers 16 and above getting vaccinated, and that's what's happening. But in Marion County, masks are going to be something that we're going to see for some time at least. Angela?
Are you having deja vu? Like, I feel like we did this at the beginning of this.
Yep.
Where there was confusion on where you were and if a mask was required, and each community was different, and so I kind of feel we're moving back down that path. And a few of my Facebook followers or friends or whatever, they were ready to get rid of their masks, and I'm kind of thinking to myself, oh, best not do that yet. Because and that was when the governor talked about the mask mandate changing to an advisory on the 6th. So I think a lot of people assumed that's it, we're done with masks, and didn't really focus on the part of that says the local communities can still require you to wear one.
That's right. And the governor, even on Tuesday when he made that announcement, said that when he goes into his favorite restaurant, he'll continue to wear the mask, even though it is going to become a mask advisory instead of a statewide mask mandate like it's been for it feels like a long time at this point. And I think about those restaurants on 96th Street where Marion County and Hamilton County are on either side of the street. So in Hamilton County, you can go to a restaurant and in theory, they could go ahead and not require you to wear a mask. I mean, they may ask you to wear a mask, but they don't have to. Go across the street, 96th Street to Marion County, you'll have to wear a mask.
We did this exact story at the beginning of the pandemic on the south side.
Yeah.
When, you know what I mean? On the
Right.
county line, it was one county was this way, the other county.
Yep. So, well, anyway, so we'll continue to follow that for you. Facebook friends, let us know what you think about the mask mandate staying in place here in Marion County. How do you feel about it? Let us know there in the comments section. And before we get back to more weather coverage with Angela, I want you to go ahead and see what we've learned about the Indianapolis 500. Of course, last year had to race without any fans. This year, it's looking more optimistic, as our Rich Van Wyk shows you.
This year's Indianapolis 500 might be the greatest spectacle in racing it was before the pandemic hit last year and emptied the stands of its fans.
We are hoping to be very optimistic.
As the county's public health director, Dr. Virginia Kane plays a key role in any decision to open the track to fans.
If we're looking at our numbers and how they're trending, I believe we'll have fans at the Indy 500.
Marion County is recording about 100 new COVID-19 cases every day. That's down from a peak of 950 in December. The positivity rate, it's hovering below 3% after hitting a high of 23%. More than 120,000 residents are vaccinated. The number goes up every day. Speedway owner Roger Penske said he wants to see 250,000 fans at the race, although Kane says she's optimistic.
But it may be very difficult for us to say what that capacity is right now.
City officials are looking for lessons from the NCAA Final Four tournament. Did social distancing and masks, along with other precautions and restrictions, slow the spread of COVID-19? Or did large crowds cause an increase in positive cases? Vaccinations are part of the equation. Will people keep lining up for them? Is the supply of vaccines keeping up with demand? The answers affect more than the race, according to Mayor Joe Hogsett.
We're not just talking about the Indianapolis 500. We're looking at these data points to be instructive for a return of conventions, to our Indiana Convention Center.
And other summer events. How well Indianapolis weathers the Final Four will likely determine how quickly the city and its beloved 500 begin to get back to normal.
We are all hoping to see fans at the Indianapolis 500 at the end of May.
Yeah.
We'll just continue to monitor how things are going here, and as soon as we know something, we'll, of course, pass it along to you, Angela.
Patience, that's the best thing we can do moving forward.
That's right. Yeah, so Bradley says it was lightning in Galveston tonight. Mary says thunder and lightning in Hartford City. And Claire says my birthday is on Saturday. So Claire, happy birthday to you.
Yes, happy early birthday. And Claire, the weather looks fantastic on Saturday.
Yeah.
We've got some sunshine and 72 in the forecast right now.
Okay, so as people are getting ready to go to bed after our 11 o'clock show, what can they expect throughout the evening?
I would just say don't be surprised if you happen to wake up because the house is shaking a little bit because of those strong winds. Still forecasting that potential for 50, 60 mile per hour winds or more. Those would be gusts, not the entire time, but we do think it will be rather windy from shortly after midnight through about sunrise tomorrow with those off and on stronger gusts. And live Doppler 13 radar shows several complexes of rain and storms. There's the area up near Galveston over toward Marion into Hartford City. We've got another cell coming out of downtown that's headed up toward Carmel. And then the warning, that severe thunderstorm warning continues, and that's going to go until 10:30. And that is for areas near Bedford to about Brownstown up into Nashville. That's our only warning. The tornado watch still set to expire at midnight. If we have any additional severe storms, I really think it's going to be across the southeastern part of the state. And then we'll just kind of wait and see how the winds, if those strong winds actually do materialize, and that will be the weather issue overnight.
All right, very good, Angela. And want to let our Facebook friends know that we're going to be with you throughout the evening. We've got staff coming in early tonight. Angela and I are going to stay past midnight and wait for our Sunrise friends to join us. So we're going to keep you covered not only on Facebook Live, but also across our news app. And if we need to, break in on Channel 13 and get you any updates. And of course, remember to have the live Doppler 13 weather app on your phone. That'll give you all the latest alerts, push alerts. You've got the radar on there. Make sure you've got that on the phone tonight. So.
Yeah, and that's a great way to stay informed even while you're sleeping, especially if you have a sound that will alert you.
Right.
Weather radio is another great resource, especially if you are going to sleep and you're curious about what happens while you sleep.
You bet. All right, Angela. Thank you so much for your update tonight. Facebook friends, we will see you tonight on 13 News at 11. Angela will be there with a live update, and we'll see you coming up in 45 minutes on 13. Good night.